went from religion.
So religion was a whole separate one.
To toxic masculinity.
So we started at toxic. The next whole segment was about religion. Kept going. So we talking about toxic masculinity. I'm glad. We here now. I'm ready. So we're talking about that. And so I go, they asked me, they said, how do you feel about toxic masculinity? I'm like, well, we got to blame the simps. I took a page out of Mike's book and I said, nah, we got to go ahead and blame the simps. And, I broke it down for him and I talked about how simps get into this world and they play games with women and women they start this thing of women start thinking that shit is okay, right?
And now what's crazy is I thought we was off air while we was over here putting together the show, and I couldn't find the article, ended up finding it, and I was like, all right, yeah, we're going to talk about simps. So we're gonna start with the article about the simps. Because here's the thing about feminism. Feminism is women's supremacy, right? The same way misogynism, it's the same way misogyny is male supremacy.
Okay.
Right? So let's be clear. Right?
Okay, and that's fair.
Yeah, feminism is not about equality.
Absolutely not. And I broke that down for them too.
Yeah, that would be humanism. So whenever you genderify anything, right, you're balancing, which one is higher, which one is better. And as humans, I don't even think that's inappropriate, because I believe that since we do have quote unquote free will, it does have to allow for the ability to disagree.
Absolutely.
You have to allow for the ability to disagree, which means that the way one person does something, another person can do it differently, but it doesn't mean that they're wrong. Right? Like I can come to our podcast studio down 77. I could come down 485.
Or North Tryon.
Neither direction is wrong.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, it depends on the circumstances. Sometimes it's quicker to go. I come one way and I leave the other way.
Absolutely.
Because
Same
it's
here.
quicker.
Absolutely.
So the ideal of, misogyny, to me would be wrong, because that's going to be like the far left.
Yeah.
And then feminism is also going to be wrong, because that's going to be the far right.
Okay. How does simps play in that?
All right. So the way simps play into this is, feminism is saying that, all right, so here's the article I'm reading. It says, today I learned simp and how the term perpetuates toxic masculinity. Right? Now, first off, we're gonna automatically disagree on the term toxic masculinity, because we've learned that it's not toxic masculinity, it's the lack of masculinity. That's what we already know that that's the case. Like, that's what transpired, right? What it truly means to be masculine. I was talking to one of my boys yesterday. He has like a three-year-old kid, and he was just like, man, my son has been like a little asshole. Let's talk about it, right?
Yeah.
and one of the things that we talk about, I was like, you're his model, right? So basically, his little son is bratty and will do things with the mom that he won't do with the dad, right? Yep. And because mom let him do anything, he wants to spend more time with mom. As a man, I know y'all women think that shit don't hurt. It hurts when our kids don't want to hang out with us, right?
Yeah. Even at a 3-month, I'm like, damn, all right, bro.
But we get it though, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing as a parent. Like, your kids are going to enjoy their aunts and uncles way more than they're going to enjoy you, right? Because how many of us grew up, and if our favorite aunt or uncle's in town, bro, we were like, peace, mom, dad.
Gotta go.
We gotta go. Bye. All right. So it's the same thing. So, as a kid, and he was like, I tell her, like, to do this when I see him doing this, or I see that she's allowing him to do this. So I go up to her and be like, why are you allowing him to do this? And so I end up saying to him, I was like, hey, bro, I was like, why are you trying to train her? Right? Like, you keep telling me what you telling her to do. She's an adult.
Absolutely.
Right? You're the man. You're in the house.
Absolutely.
It's on you
to correct
the kid. Yeah. Right? You don't why you keep going, like, you're trying to train her when you should be trying to train him. Yeah. I was like, you're a model. I said, you know what he's seeing right now? I said, every time you do that, he sees his dad telling his mother what to do. I say, so the behavior that you're witnessing is him modeling you.
Absolutely.
And he was like, God damn. You're right.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And we talked about, patience, about there's no need to spank kids and yell at kids. Things happen, right?
Yeah,
like, sometimes you'll yell at a kid. But, it's also incumbent upon you to go back to that kid and be like, yo, and apologize. Bad. I shouldn't have did that. But, we just talked about those things. So anyway, everything that we talked about I was like, man, this is why it's important for us to be here, right? Absolutely. As men, you talk about holding friends accountable. This is a friend calling me saying, yo, bruh, like, What are you doing? Because I don't think I'm doing it the right way.
Absolutely.
You know, and so it's men sitting there, right? So again, there is no such thing as toxic masculinity. It's the lack of masculinity. But there's no way feminism can say that, because if feminism says that, then that means that men now have to be included, right? Not the way included like the Anglos do in court, where we want to judge, you know, women uterus. Like I don't care about, you know, those type things.
I hate when y'all ask me that question. Bro, like I got a choice.
But you know, but the thing is, so we're talking about the word simp. It's sexist, right? So it was saying like this is what she wrote in the article. A boy regularly drops a girl off at home to make sure she's safe. She put in quotes, that's simp behavior.
It's not.
He texts her first. He's simping for her. There has never been a situation where we've said a man being a gentleman is a simp. But since this article was written this year, guess what they're about to start saying? They're about to start saying that men are telling other men to not be gentlemen.
Absolutely. Well, this is how you build it up, like you're saying.
Yeah, right. This is how you build it up. And then she put in highlighted, we should instead appreciate men who respect women, be proud of men who have learned how to approach women first in a healthy way. That's all this podcast is about.
Absolutely.
And this is the most anti-simp podcast on the fucking internet.
Bruh. So I'm on, shout out to Black Fly on the Wall, and we sitting there and I'm talking to them. We're talking about toxic masculinity. And I go, bro, the simps is ruining everything.
Yeah.
It's like, y'all don't, we gotta call that how we see it. And then we started talking about feminists, and the guy was sent, one of the guys, shout out to him, he was a smart brother. He was like, yo, you know, I see myself as a feminist. And I just looked at him and I said, well, my issue with feminists or feminism as a whole is the same as it always been. I was like, they pick and choose what they care about with certain type of women.
Yeah. I
was like, so I don't see white women at Black Lives Matter rallies when a mom loses her son or her brother in the streets. I told them straight up.
We don't see feminists. Like we'll see
black women.
We'll see black women.
Black and brown women there.
We'll see, you know, some white women, but we don't see feminists out
saying,
there.
Hey, we're here.
And to your point, that's a mother that's out there have lost her child.
Yeah. So and I was like, my issue is, if you really care about issues that affect women, this is one big issue. And I told him, I was like, look, and mind you, I'm saying this in a room. Everybody in the room is black. Is black women in the room. And I said, yo, when we talk about wage disparity in this country, and the comment comes up about how black women don't make a certain amount of money, I said they changed that to say women of color, because we need to include Hispanic women to drive our numbers down. Yep. Because if we take Hispanic women out, and then our number raised up, and now it looks like, hey, black men make 67 cents on the dollar, black women make 63. It's not that far off. But if we add in Hispanic women who don't make shit, then we get that number to go down to the 50s. And now we get to say women of color. I said, but black women don't want to talk about that and things that expect.
Or want to talk about the fact that black women and black men basically make the same amount of money. Black men do make more, but it's not more to the extent. It's not the difference between 80 cents and $1. You know, it's the difference between 80 cents and 84 cents.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
so we had those conversations, and I was just like, and then, you know what, when I got done with it, I go, Mike got to come up here with me one day. So shout out to Black Fly on the Wall podcast, Black Fly on the Wall podcast. Y'all, me and Mike gonna come up there and rock with y'all one day. And we're gonna invite y'all down here one day too, because it'll be a great conversation. And it's all, their podcast is everything black. Like, they want to uplift the black community and figure that out. And it's very much a, you know what, they have women helping. They have women are in the room when these conversations are being made.
So the women are serving them?
No, but they're helping, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
But they don't let the women talk? I'm being flippant right now. That's all. I'm just being really fucking flippant.
And I'm laughing at Mike. And so, but the reason why I'm saying this is their thing is, we wanted to create a safe space where black men can talk, because that's not available at this moment.
Well, no, it's not available. It's never been available. And every time it pops up, you know, it becomes black men are being misogynist. Like, black men are allowed to call other black men simps.
Absolutely.
Right? Like this, we're allowed to do that. Like, to say that, okay, that's rooted in misogyny. No, it's not, right? Like, if guys are ruining the dating pool, good example of this, right? Drake throwing $1 million in a strip club. What was that, in Houston last week?
Come on, man.
All right, right. Like, you know, hey.
How do you write that off in your taxes? But that's a whole nother subject.
Entertainment? I don't know. Like,
if you're an accountant, please let us know how Drake gets to write that off.
But, you know, but here's the thing, though. So, when men lead with their wallets, right?
Simping.
Where does that leave the next guy? Like I was having a conversation with one of my boys today. I was like, all right, you meet a woman and she makes more money than you, right? Like you make 70, but she makes 110.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you do with that woman, right? Like, let's be clear, because everyone is saying that it's not an issue, it's not a thing, and I'm telling you that it is always an issue. The woman that makes 110 doesn't want to date the guy making 70.
No.
Prove me wrong. Someone prove me wrong. But 9 times out of 10, now yes, occasionally you have a doctor that may be dating, let's say, a police lieutenant, right?
Yeah.
So he makes 80, 90, she's making 300, right?
Yeah.
But he has political clout. His sphere of influence is still there. You're not really running into, a surgeon dating a high school teacher.
Nah.
It's really not happening. Like, let's stop pretending that the shit that we see on TV from time to time and
they always get a divorce in the movies.
Exactly, right? Like, let's not pretend that that's true. So my question to him was, all right, you meet her. How are you going to keep her? Right? How are you going to keep this woman that makes this much money? Because here's the thing. All the things that men can do, for women, because women value protection more than anything else.
We talked about that last episode.
Yeah, she values that more. So you providing protection, you're helping around the house, you're doing everything. I said, in your heart of hearts, do you think she's happy? No, I don't think she's happy.
Nah.
I said, why? Because she makes more money than me, right?
Yeah.
I said, would it bother you? He was like, of course not. It wouldn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
So my question is, who is it bothering then? Right?
It's bothering her.
It's bothering her.
Absolutely.
Right? So the only way to fix this problem, right? We can't lower her pay, right?
Absolutely not.
No, we can't do that.
Keep making your 300 or your 110.
So what we got to do is you got to make more money than her, right? So again, as the man, this shit falls on you. And that's the point. That's the only thing we really be trying to drive home on this show is at the end of the day, the shit's going to fall on you every fucking time.
Shout out to Drake, though.
Shout out to Drake. I mean, I do think Drake simp too hard and goes too far.
Absolutely.
But when you date a man with excess, oh man, yeah, good segue. When you date a man who actually has money and he spends money, it should not be an assumption that he's spending money because he likes you.
Okay.
You could take a carbon copy of yourself, ladies. If you have a man that makes a lot of money and he's dating you and he's spending a lot of money, but y'all not in a relationship, he has not proposed. There's no pathway to marriage.
Okay.
But he's like buying you every fucking thing, right? Just ask yourself, if you were to take a carbon copy of yourself, right? And just made her a little bit lighter or a little bit darker, made her hair a little bit shorter or a little bit longer, and you was removed out of the picture, she was inserted in the picture, would he do those same things for that woman?
Absolutely.
Of course he is, right? So he's not doing it for you, right? Like, you're not
special.
You're not his chick. You're the woman that he's seeing. And here's the thing, in dating, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Everybody saw that the rapper went off about calling the woman his side chick.
DaBaby.
And everybody lost their fucking mind.
Because it was disrespectful.
But it definitely was. It was definitely disrespectful.
It was highly disrespectful.
It was definitely, but he doesn't have 2 assault charges against him.
That is true.
So it's like, at the end of the day, as men, we got to realize whatever we do, that shit looks terrible. Right?
Absolutely.
So it goes back to shit falls on us again, right?
Yeah.
Having the accountability and responsibility to just be like, you know what? I'm not going to go live.
Absolutely.
I'm just going to, if I have to call the cops, right? Because there's nothing that I can do, right? Like, you can't, there's no way that a man can remove a woman and it looks decent.
Acceptable.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
especially with your kid there.
Yeah, there's no way that's going to happen, right? So at the end of the day, you're going to have to call the cops. So if you call the cops and you ask for it to be removed, for whatever reason, right? Well, shit, for whatever reason, you were bit,
assaulted.
you were kicked, you were slapped, right? And you're like, yo, I need her to go.
Yeah.
All right. The moment you lose leverage, the moment you go and post it to social media.
Yeah.
Right? Because now no one is talking about that.
No.
Right?
What the conversation now is being talked about, you calling the mother of your child on Instagram Live a side chick and disrespecting her. And you change the conversation. And social media is interesting now because we have people calling out her saying, yo, you knew this man, who he was, his makeup before you got here. And you have him out here who already fighting for his life. And when I say it like that, you trying to get back in festivals, you trying to get your sponsors back, your advertisers back, and then you got this situation. You know, and I know we're gonna talk about this in a little bit later, but like social media getting people messed up, man. It's fucking the game up because people feel so need to post everything. And I know this is a good segue into, you know, the LAPD creating fake profiles and locking y'all asses up because people are out here doing dumb stuff. Quick side note, I was online reading something and there's this thing where if you know somebody's committing PPP fraud, you can send like the IRS or whoever, like their information and what evidence you have, and they'll open up an investigation on them. And if they decide to open up the investigation, you get like 30% of whatever money they find. And like, I'm thinking about that and I'm like, y'all got to get off of social media, man.
Well, I mean, it's dry snitching, but I mean, it's the reason. Yeah. It's the reason why criminals are criminals and why the jails stay full.
Absolutely.
But you know, so here's the thing, and here's the thing about social media: the fact that people can put their lives on display is either the hero concept or the self-centered concept, right? So at the end of the day, there's a level of narcissism that goes with posting on social media, right?
Absolutely.
Like you're saying, I need the claps and the looks for my likes. Mm-hmm. Like we see this every day on social media, where it's the same person posts the same photo every fucking day in the same place, and it's nauseating, right?
Absolutely.
All right, and we know that clinically that's a sign of low self-esteem.
Absolutely.
Right?
Shout out to the shorty who posts a picture that I took of her 3 years ago. She posts it's in the same place, bro.
Yeah.
She posted it like every other week.
But that's what I'm saying. So it's like, we know that that social media exacerbates some of the mental issues that people have, right? Mm-hmm. So you take, the term now, narcissism, right?
Yeah.
All right, narcissism, a pattern of self-centered, arrogant thinking and behavior, right?
Yeah.
Self-centered, right? So I'm only worried about myself.
Absolutely.
Arrogant, I'm not going to get caught.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like no one is going to report this, right? Like, so when we see, someone post something racist and then they lose their job, that they absolutely was thinking about themselves and not thinking about, what that behavior is going to cost them. Right? Somebody go get $3 million in PPP loan.
Yeah.
And then post the Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
They completely not thinking that, somebody in my Facebook friend circle
is hating,
right?
Don't get my ass.
It's going to fucking happen. So, the LAPD creating fake Facebook account, which I'm pretty sure they creating accounts of stuff that I guess, for the most part, they're locking up men, right? So they probably posting fake women.
Oh, absolutely.
Fake parties.
Yeah.
These dummies accepting the fucking friend invite.
Yeah. Now I get to go through all your photos.
And I get to see everything that you do and where you are.
Drugs.
I don't even have to, hey, it's smart, but it's fucked up.
Well, the thing that's funny is like, real criminals ain't on Facebook, man. They not on social media, bro.
No.
And like the low budget ones, y'all ignorant, stupid motherfuckers, they are on Facebook, they on Instagram, they on Snapchat. And y'all posting the dumb stuff y'all do, which is amazing. For instance, right? I sent you a video earlier today of a dude shooting at his shorty in the room and she's smiling.
That was crazy. Talking about have a baby for me.
Like, here's the thing. He recorded that video. How did that video get circulated around?
Yeah, who did you send it to? Who thought it was funny?
And who thought it'd be cool to post online?
And who thought it would be that video was crazy. And here's the thing, like, ladies, stop dating these shitty fucking dudes.
That's what we gotta kill.
You know what I'm saying? Like, stop dating these shitty fucking dudes. Like, because even as men, men self-segregate for shitty dudes.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if there's a dude that's always fighting, or he's always broke, or he always, you think about when you was growing up, you had your homeboy that every time y'all showed up, this motherfucker ain't got no money on him, right?
Or need a ride.
Right? you give it 4 or 5 years, and then all the dudes in the circle stop fucking with him.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And then sure enough, what did we see that this dude end up with? He ended up with a baby mama. He's living with her, her house, her car.
Yep.
Fucking up her fucking life, right?
Absolutely.
We see this shit all the fucking time. So we need ladies. You know what I'm saying? Like, trust men's judgment when it comes to shitty fucking dudes. Like, trust men. And you know what? And I'm gonna say this too. Baby mama number one, she can complain. She can say I didn't know, right?
Yeah.
Baby mama number two, we may listen.
I'm gonna give her a little bit of credit.
We may listen
because maybe baby mama number one was upset and didn't give her no warning, and maybe she only hear his lies.
Yeah.
Now the rest of you motherfuckers,
baby mama 3, 4, 5, 6, stop posting online.
Stop posting.
Stop. We don't care.
We can't. It's
can't
hard for us to care for the simple fact of you had to wake up one day and go, where's your other 2 baby mamas?
Yeah.
Like, where are the other kids? Why haven't I seen them? Why haven't I been around them?
Because as men, like if one of our homeboys date a chick that has 4 kids, 4 baby daddies, and he have a baby, and then he wants to complain, we be like, dude, what did you expect?
What was
like? What did you expect? Like we told you just in the beginning. Like we told you, like she had 4 kids, 4 baby daddies, right? Like y'all know I love hustlers. Y'all know I say sex work is real work. But if I was to meet a stripper, right?
Absolutely.
And she already have like 2 babies by 2 dope boys, right?
Yep.
And then I meet her and I'm like, yo, I'm in love, man. Like, like all my boys would be like,
yeah,
bruh, nah, it's probably ain't the move.
I wouldn't do this one if I was you.
I probably wouldn't be the move. So like, ladies, trust men when it comes to like us saying that like, yo, this is a shitty dude, or this is the type of behavior that, you know what? It's for fun, but it ain't for real.
Speaking of shitty dudes, it has just been announced. I don't know when y'all gonna see this, but it'll probably be soon. It has been announced that Cal, what's Rittenhouse has been acquitted of all mother effing charges.
Man, I saw that shit coming a mile away.
I saw it it was so clear to me before shit got started that I didn't even pay it attention because I didn't know what was up.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, it goes like I posted, a couple weeks ago, right? Mm-hmm. A good lawyer knows the law.
A great lawyer what?
Knows the judge.
So
it was clear that this attorney knew the judge. When Kyle is like over the judge's shoulder watching a video from, either prosecution or defense, like this is somebody that knows the judge. When you put somebody on the stand that have shot 2 people, this is somebody that has been coached and knows the judge. So I'm not surprised at all, and I'm also in the camp of, as we've always said, the assumption by Americans is that white supremacy only hurts minorities, right? Like it only hurts black people, it only hurts Latinos, immigrants, illegals. The truth of the matter is white supremacy affects white people at a much higher level than it actually affects minorities. It's just that when it affects minorities, it's drastic, it's fast, it's devastating. You know what I'm saying? So instead of, a slow moving tornado, it's a fast moving flood. But here's the thing. The Taliban is mean to like regular Afghanis, right? Like we will say the Taliban ain't shit, right?
Yeah.
But do for one second we think that the Taliban treat their wives well? Do we think that the Taliban treat their little girls well? No, they don't. They treat everybody like shit.
Absolutely.
They're the fucking Taliban.
Absolutely.
All right? It's the same thing when it comes to supremacy. Supremacy does not treat white people well.
It don't.
So we have a case here of Kyle Rittenhouse, who's 100%, within the realm of what supremacy looks like. It's getting off, and he didn't shoot any people of color.
Nah, which is wild.
He didn't hurt any people of color. He's going to get out. He's going to go back into that line of the world, which means that side of the world is now having to deal with a guy who has shot 3 people, killed 2, right? Mm-hmm. They have to deal with that now. Mm-hmm. And for anyone who's not a student of history, Google the Troubles, the UK, United Kingdom, the Troubles.
Okay.
And what you're going to start seeing is there's a lot of parallels between what's occurring in the United States and what occurred in Britain. And then go see how that ended up. Like the British government, they never defeated them. They pretty much just called it a truce. And everybody went home.
Here's my thing.
After 50 years of terrorism.
We seen what happened. So what happens to him now? Now, he goes back in society.
Oh man,
he got off with 3 bodies. 2 bodies, excuse me.
He has all the money. He's going to, I'm pretty sure hit the circuit. He's gonna have a good life. But he's not. He's a coward.
Yeah,
and he's not a good person.
Yeah.
So when you give a person who's already a coward and not a good person a lot of money, they become more of who they are. So the same way we saw more George Zimmerman, have no idea how he still exists in Florida to all you thugs down there.
Look.
But but to that point, I think the same way you kept seeing him get in trouble for different things, you're gonna keep seeing Kyle Rittenhouse and anything. And as long as he stays up there in Wisconsin, that Michigan area, more power to him, man. Like I cannot be upset or offended by this because we saw it happening in real time.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when I saw it, I was on Yahoo and it like flashed across the screen, all red and all that shit, and I was just like, next.
I knew immediately that when I saw that, when I saw the way that his demeanor was in court, this was a puppet show,
bro. When the judge is fussing at the prosecutor, I was like, all right.
But again, nothing America does surprise me. So.
I was like, all right, bro. It's so many, like, all right, the dude fake crying on the stand. When they making memes of you crying on the stand and nobody really upset, let's be honest, black people wasn't that tuned into this.
No, they wasn't. And here's the thing. I don't even want to say it wasn't because any black people was hurt or people of color was hurt. I think black people are kind of tuned out because of everything that has occurred since the election. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like I think this is more of a movement of black people saying that, hey, we got to figure out a way to start separating ourselves, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because most black people are religious, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
and one of the most famous verses that you'll ever read in the Bible is that come out from amongst them and be ye separate.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of black people are just starting to develop the attitude of there is a separation, right? There's a dividing line. But not just between how America treats black people, but I think even amongst black people, you have the black people that are saying, you know what? Do you want to build or are you destroying? You know what I'm saying? Like I get like I'm watching the commercial the other night and I see, a famous rapper chick in a Popeye's chicken commercial.
Shout out to
with with flaming nails, and then the commercial that comes on right behind it is a high-end liquor commercial, and it's showing hard-working Latinos in the field, but it's still playing our music, right? Yeah. So we have our music and our artists in a commercial, and it's damn near offensive if you're black.
Yeah.
And then we have a commercial that comes on right behind it.
Yeah.
Which is also our music.
Yeah.
But it's showing someone in a positive light. Mm-hmm. I don't know what is transpiring in America. Mm-hmm. I don't know what is it about black people presence that offends others in this country. Mm-hmm. But this is becoming a period where as an African man and as African women, you do need to start saying, all right, how can I create a business that can make more money? Mm-hmm. Because you're going to make more money working for yourself than you'll ever make working for somebody else. You'll make 4 or 5 times the amount of money that you ever made working for somebody else. How do I do that? How do as a man do I create an environment for a woman to thrive? Right? Like, how do I create that environment that a woman can blossom into everything that she can be, right?
Absolutely.
Because it goes back to last week's episode when we talk about the standard, right? Like, your standard is what you've chosen for yourself, right? Like Bentley, when they make their cars, they're saying like, look, we're using the best cowhide leather in all of our cars, right? Like, no Bentleys have cloth seats.
Nah.
Right? It's not an option, right? It's a standard, right? It's standard. And because they've set such a high standard, Bentley can say, yeah, our cheapest car is $150,000, right? Like, you have to rise. You have to rise to Bentley's level, right?
Absolutely.
They don't lower themselves.
Nah.
So how do we as individuals, as men, say, all right, you know what? Yes, I'm going to provide, the V12 engine. I'm going to provide the leather seats. I'm going to provide the nicest, of everything for you, right? Mm-hmm. But when I create that environment, you're going to have to rise to this level to meet me as a man. As men, how do we create that type of environment to whereas we can start selecting the correct, women? We didn't go into gaslighting too much, and we're too far in the episode to even go back. But gaslighting is an emotional abuse.
Absolutely.
Right? Men and women both emotionally abuse each other. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, more emotional abuse goes from women to men than from men to women, because men abuse can arise to the level of physicality. Mm-hmm. For the most part. Women's cans too, but like, women really don't hurt men, right?
Yeah.
Like, even when we saw Dana Lee get the 2 assault charges, right? Mm-hmm. She didn't hurt the baby. He was on live the next morning. He was fine, right? Yeah. But you have to excuse that woman from your world, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not going to de-escalate, right?
Nah,
it's going to
never.
keep going. Like, and normally that's the problem with men is that, you know, it goes from verbal abuse, then it goes to the physical abuse, and then of course you're not being hurt, and then that time she wants you to hurt, it's the frying pan or the jar, right? And now you're hurt for real. You know what I'm saying? And then you still got to have the wherewithal to say, all right, I got to call the cops and not retaliate, because there's nothing that you do that's going to look like it's appropriate.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, as men, what are we doing to create these environments and the spaces for the type of women that we want to bring into our lives? We have to, we say this every episode, but you got to make more money.
Absolutely. Go get a side hustle.
That's the biggest thing. You got to make more money. And two, you got to get to the point where you understand that masculinity, right? Like we read this bullshit fucking article talking about simps, right? And saying how it's toxic masculinity to call a fucking simp a simp. But we over here telling men that true masculinity is grace and mercy.
Yeah.
Right. Like you have to become the type of man that can provide that. It's hard to provide grace to someone when you're struggling. It's hard to provide mercy for someone when you don't have an abundance, you know, of love in your heart, right? Or which means that, you know, you got good friends, you got good family, you're living in a good environment. But we're definitely gonna have to combat this narrative that when you have feminists that are saying, oh, when men call other men simps, that's misogyny. Like, no, that's self-correcting behavior amongst men. Men have to keep holding one another accountable.
Can't do shit.
Yeah. You know, and obviously that's not something that really happens a lot.
Nah.
You know, on the other side. They're not really holding one another accountable. So we can't start listening to that dumb shit and have them tell us how we handle the fucking simps in our community.
Nah, absolutely, man.
I'm done.
Look, we want to thank everybody for tuning in. We got a special episode coming for y'all next week for Thanksgiving. If I was you, I would tune in because we got to thank some folks. We got to thank some guests. Y'all already know the guests we're going to thank. We're going to have some segments in there for y'all. But anyway, man, we want to thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you go subscribe on YouTube. Check us out on Spotify. Apple Podcasts. We got the
videos up on Spotify.
Yes, the videos is coming up on Spotify. Look, please just go like, comment. If you hating, please just comment on YouTube. That'll do us great. Please just do all that.
Go disagree.
Please just go disagree. And let us know. We'll read off your comments of you cussing us the fuck out. And we'll show you that we love you at the end of the day. Anyway, we're going to holler at y'all next time.
Holla at your boy.